Hello, newwavebritishheavymetal.com here today. It's the 8th of February 2023. As always, before we get into it, if I could ask a small favour, and that's if you would please subscribe to the channel. That'd be a big help. Every subscriber is appreciated, so if you would hit the button please, that would be marvellous. Righty ho then, today some good old new wave of British heavy metal. Holocaust, remember them? And there's an excellent box set just been released, 6 CD box set, and it covers their output between 1980 and 1984, and it's cunningly titled Heavy Metal Mania, The Complete Recordings Volume 1, 1980 to 1984, so there's a clue there in the title about what it includes, isn't there? And Volume 1, is that a hint that there's more to come? Anyway, hope so. Holocaust, of course, go all the way back to the original new wave of British heavy metal days, late 70s, early to mid 80s, and they were. I think they're still active actually. Anyway, but they're from Scotland, formed late 1970s, and they were quite prolific then with output, as hinted at in the title there. Between 1980 and 1984, they did put out quite a lot of good stuff, and they did arguably go a little bit under the Nawabum radar a little bit, but they did have, well, certainly the first album's a good brand of no nonsense in your face, sort of like speed and heaviness, which is rather jolly good. But in this box set, like I've said, we've got the band's output between those 4 years, 80 to 84, in the Nawabum years. Cherry Red do these box sets so well. I mean, the recent Girls' School one, for example, Heavy Metal Kids and others. Nice, solid, hardboard clamshell box, replica cardboard CD sleeves, comprehensive booklet, lots of photos, nothing not to like. And this one's no exception. 6 CDs, and it's not overly expensive given the content either. So what do we have over these 6 CDs? Well, we've got the band's debut album from 1981, Nightcomers. Rough, raw, heavy effort delivered with plenty of energy, speed and power. Quite brutal, some of it. There's no messing about here. Just get on with it and pump it out. I guess you could say in some ways it's a bit of a Scottish Motorhead, maybe, but take your own view on that one. CD2, this is an interesting one. Hot Curry and Wine. What a title, eh? I prefer a beer with my curry, but anyway. And not too hot either. Can't cope with that. But never mind all that. You don't need to know about my medical history. But in 1982 this came out. Holocaust played a concert at the nightclub in Edinburgh. And in something of an unusual move at the time, bit of a publicity stunt, I guess, they filmed the concert and released it again for what was at the time quite a steep price back then. I think it was around about £30 40 years ago. So if you bunch that up into today's money, it'd be quite a lot, wouldn't it? And here we've got like the soundtrack to that, if I can put it that way. Again, captures the band raw and live. It's a good listen. Things started to fall around a little bit for Holocaust after that, because there were all sorts of lineup changes and whatnot. And then CD3 is from 1983 after all these lineup changes and whatnot. And it's an album called Steal the Stars, and it was released under the name of Hologram following all these lineup changes and whatnot. And musical style had changed considerably from all that good old-fashioned Nawabum heavy, speedy, fast stuff. And that was mostly gone, and that was there on Nightcomers, for example. And this is a really more glossy, polished, sort of like, forgive me a phrase, radio-friendly sound. Not the finest hour in my book, though it does have its moments. If you like that kind of stuff, you'd probably like Steal the Stars. Not really one for me. CD4. 1983, we're back to Hot Curry and Wine territory with plenty of that and some more live stuff from that and other performances. And if you listen to it after if you listen to these CDs in sequence, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. If you listen to this one, CD4, after Steal the Stars, you'll get what a contrast there is. They're quite interesting to compare. On to CD5, then we've got No Man's Land from 1984. Again, it had looked to be all over the Holocaust after Steal the Stars and whatnot. But they kept plugging away. Guitarist John Mortimer put together a new lineup, and No Man's Land was the result. It's not a classic. It's quite generic in my opinion, but it does see a return to the more Nawabum related, heavier sound of Nightcomers, for example. But to me, it does feel rather a little bit rushed and a little bit generic. But there we are. And then CD6, we're back to the glorious stuff. Heavy Metal Mania, 1980 to 1982. There's all sorts of B-sides and singles and other stuff there. And arguably the band's best known song, Heavy Metal Mania, which indeed was a debut single back in 1980 before the debut album, indeed. And this one, Heavy Metal Mania, is a bit of a new wave of British heavy metal classic, I would say. Really is. So anyway, over these 6 CDs, so comprehensive stuff, 6 CDs, nice clamshell, booklet, lots of photographs, lots of stuff to read. Very interesting stuff. So particularly to compare the heavy stuff with the more lightweight stuff. And if you're an old Nawabum fan like me, you'll lap it up. If you're not, well, you might like it anyway. You know, while Steal the Stars and No Man's Land, not great. Nightcomers, Hot Korean Wine and Heavy Metal Mania, fantastic, really is. So if you'd like to check it out, as always, I'll drop a link to the album on Amazon in the description, so you can go and get it from there if you would like it. It really is worthy, in my opinion. It's not overly expensive for a 6 CD box set, and it really is interesting to listen to how the band over those 4 years, but back in the 80s, came out of nowhere, burst in with a really excellent debut album, but then kind of, well, went a bit up and down from there, we'll call it. But overall, excellent stuff, and worth it, even if you disregard Steal the Stars and No Man's Land. The other 4 more than make up for it. So there we are. Holocaust, Heavy Metal Mania, The Complete Recordings, Volume 1, 1980 to 1984. Please subscribe to the channel before you go if you would. That would be marvellous. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.